Welcome to Portuguese with Carla, where you'll get a lot of videos to help you out with your European Portuguese, as well as a weekly podcast. Just realized, first time you're watching one of these videos, you're probably expecting a woman, Carla, to show up. Maybe she should do the intro. Carla!
Diz.
Anda cá, se chuva.
Já vou.
Anda lá!
Espera.
Rápido, que está a gravar.
Tá bem, 2 minutos.
Hello, this is Carla from Portuguese with Carla, and yes, I think I look more like Carla than Marlon did there. And these are, it's our list, or this is our list for top 10 apps for learning Portuguese European vocabulary, not Brazilian, Portuguese European vocabulary, and these are free apps. So as many of you know, Marlon has been our tech guy for quite some time, so I'm going to leave you with him. I hope you enjoy. Take care. Bye.
So let's get started with app number 10, or in 10th place, and that's this app called Learn Portuguese European Basic 400 Words. It's quite a lengthy name, but that's the logo right there, or the icon. I'll provide you with the link if you go to the website. And actually on the website you'll see a lot more ratings, so specific ratings for the design quality. I'm just looking through them now. You have usability, the engagement that the app has with the student, the amount of words, the value for the app, because most of these are free. Well, all of them are free, but most of them will offer you some sort of an upgrade. But that's all on the post on the website. The app itself. So this app, it's as simple as it gets, really. You have a list of words divided into categories. You press on a particular category, so let's transportation, the transport, and you have an image with the audio. You can play the audio. I've hooked this up, so you should be able to hear this.
Barco.
The audio is fantastic. I mean, this is app number 10, but the audio is perhaps one of the best. The audio is clear, it's from a native, it's not robotic. It's like radio quality, you know, one of those people that will speak in the radio, that's as good as that.
Carro.
But there's no quizzes, there's no games, there's no gamification of the app. It's really just a list of words and you go through them and you pay, I think, £4, whatever that is in your country, but it's cheap, right? You get all of this, which is not a great deal. It's not a huge catalog, but just to get you started, even the free stuff is really good. As I said, the audio is good, so just give it a try. All right, our second app is an app called Learn Bots. Now, if I just show you Learn Bots here, it's mainly verbs, so it's not a list of vocabulary, it's just verbs and conjugations. And now you only get about 12 verbs to start off on the trial or the free version here. So let's start with the good stuff. So it's there's quite a few verb conjugations, not a huge amount, but the main, most important, most commonly used ones. So you have the present, you have the to past, the perfect and the imperfect. You have the future, the conditional, and the subjunctive. The app itself is kind of buggy, and I don't really like the design. Maybe that's my taste, but it looks like an old design. It's like an app that was done 6 years ago. And maybe it was, I don't know really. The pronunciation, just listen to it.
Abro, abres, abre.
It is a native guy. The recording is clear. The only downside is that this is a guy who was born and brought up, I guess, in the northern part of Portugal. So his accent is quite strong. It's not as neutral as I would like. And sometimes that is a problem in certain verbs. Now, there's not much to it really, at least in the trial version. They have a little animation. You watch it. Not quite sure what I think about it. So for every verb there's a little animation. I just think, okay, I guess that's nice. But they have a quiz mode, well, at least what they call a quiz mode, where it sort of blanks out everything. So you have to figure it out. Okay, from my memory, what is the first person singular for the perfect of, what did it say, abrir? Eu abro.
Abro.
Okay, I think maybe the it might be abrem.
Abrem.
Okay, the voz,
Abrir.
again, if you live in certain parts of Portugal, that second person of the plural sometimes is used, but it's mostly not really something you would hear in the vernacular Portuguese. It's in ninth place for a reason, because it's kind of buggy. Sometimes there's errors, but we have a few verbs for free, and as I say, it's a native who speaks it. All right, in eighth place we have an app called Learn Portuguese. That one right there. Phrasebook for travel in Portugal. That's the full name. My company called Codigent, I think that's how you would pronounce that. Now, this app is again a list of words, but not just that, it adds expressions. So if this is again, it's a trial version, it's a free version, there's quite a bit. So let's just open this into general conversation here. And you would get not just words, but you get simple phrases, sentences, full sentences to get you started. And that's really good, right? When you learn a language, it's good to put things in context straight away. The recording of, so just pick one.
Pode repetir, por favor?
And we just pick that one here.
Pode falar mais devagar?
Can you speak a little slower, or slowly? That is a native person. It is a little bit too compressed for my liking. You can slow things down.
Pode falar mais devagar?
Yeah, so I would have liked this to be a bit clearer, but I guess because of the app and they're wanting to make this app smaller, they compress the audio maybe a tad too much for my liking. There's quite a lot for free here. In fact, if you buy the app, it's £5 for the full app. And you get about 1,000 items. But again, because this is not just single words, it's mainly expressions, or some expressions.
Pode mostrar onde isso fica no mapa?
You get a lot more than just a list of a database of vocabulary. More in this app, there's not a lot more to be said really. The design I don't really like. And that's about it. I guess you can sort of love a particular word, so they come in your love, in the favorites, so to speak. So if you have trouble memorizing a word, you can go back to that section. So that's app number 8, Learn Portuguese, the phrasebook for travel in Portugal. That's the full name. Okay, app number 7 is again one all to do with verbs, iVerbs. Let me just open it for you. Now this is one of those apps that it's completely free. As far as I can tell, there's a little bit of advertising here at the bottom, but there's nothing to be gained in terms of content by giving them money. In fact, I can't find anywhere where you can give them money. So you have a lot of verbs. I mean, this is basically a guy that got a database of all the verbs, Portuguese verbs you could find, and dragged them into this app. And because the recording is robotic, so if I just play it for you.
Amanheceis.
You see, it's not very pleasant. It's not very, mostly it's accurate, but not always, because robots.
Amanheceis.
See, there's one that it's not quite the way.
Amanheceras.
The way I would say it's almost there. But anyway, because it's robotic, they can put all the conjugations, because if it was somebody recording it one by one, it obviously would take forever. So there's a lot of conjugations there. And if I just scroll through the list of verbs, it's humongous. So this is one of those apps that if you don't want to spend a lot of money, a lot of people use Conjugate Me on the web. Well, this would be something very, very similar. Plus you get a bit of an idea as to how a Portuguese would say this. And even though it's robotic, it's Portuguese from Portugal. All right, so that's at number 7. Okay, at number 6, we have an app called Portuguese Pocket Lingo. Again, like all of these apps, it's European Portuguese. So let me just show it to you. Now this app is again to do with vocabulary. There's no verbs here. The bad about this app, let me tell you, it's the audio is, in my opinion,
Lanche.
heavily compressed.
Estou cheio. Para comer.
Even though it does sound like a native recorded it. And you can start again a word, so you can, let's say para comer, let's start that one. That means that when I go into here the menu of favorites, you get all the stuff that I start, so I can play it. There's also an option, see if I can find a few. There's also an option to record your own voice.
Carne.
See if I can find, where is it? There we go. So you can record your own voice. Let me just try and record here. Carne. Oh, wait. Carne. Did that work? I don't know if it did. Obviously not. Anyway, I've tried it before and it does work. I just couldn't get it to work this time. So you can record your own voice. Oh, is that me?
Carne.
No, that's the guy. Anyway, I don't know how useful that will be. I guess you could play the native and play yourself and see how that goes. There's no articles. I'm going to talk about this in the most my favorite apps, but in Portuguese it's important to, when you're learning a word, to have the article before, so you know whether it's female or male. This app does not offer that, but they went to the trouble of recording a native.
Chocolate quente.
I think it's
Chocolate quente.
it's pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit compressed. There's no guidance features. There's no gamification. They have a word of the day, so it will alert you every day. Hey, there's something here for you to learn today, and that's about it. All right, at number 5 we have an app called Loxen. Now this app is a little different from all the others. It is well, it's not just one, it's 2 native speakers that recorded this. So let me just play a little bit.
Sinto-me bem aqui. Tenho calor. Tenho frio.
It's pretty good. I like the fact that they went to the trouble of drawing something instead of getting a stock imagery, which is nice. It is pretty good. It's expressions. It's not just random words, which is nice. They do have articles on some of the nouns, so you can tell whether something is. Let's see if I can find something here. Whether something is masculine or feminine.
Estou muito cansado.
Let me just pick bar, for example.
Com todo o gosto.
Copo.
See, that one, it doesn't have articles on all. That should have said o copo, but it does on. Oh, hello.
Bebes a água. Com açúcar.
Let me just pick another one because I've seen them around.
O restaurante.
O restaurante, yeah. Sometimes there are spelling mistakes. It's not a lot, but it does happen. And if you're learning, it can be tricky. And sometimes there are errors in pronunciation.
Queres comer alguma coisa?
But they are rare.
Podemos comer.
And mostly I like the app. It's completely free, which is cool. There's nothing to be paid here. It's just everything is free, and there's lots, as you can see. There's lots of stuff.
Queres aprender
Compreendi.
And
Podes falar pouco mais devagar?
So it tells you what it is. So let me just do it again.
Podes falar pouco mais devagar?
And then you have to go. Can you speak a little bit slower? A little slowly, please. There you go. Yay! All right. So that's
Falar pouco mais devagar?
Loxen. At number 4, we have an app called Nemolingo. I think that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And it's that one right there. I have to say I have higher expectations, or high expectations that didn't quite get matched up. Now, the reason why is because this app is supposed to be all gamified and supposed to have a lot of games and be quite engaging. Now, there are games here. It prompts you to go back to the app so you can learn something. So that's good. It has an Apple Watch app. Or at least they say they have. I'm sure they do. I don't have an Apple Watch. It syncs over iCloud, so that there's a lot of thinking behind this app. Unfortunately, in terms of learning, there's not that much going for it. So, for example, if I go through, let me pick a course. Course was for today. Oh, I thought it added. There you go. So let's go through, create a course. Portuguese, yeah, let's do it. And you can listen to
Diafragma.
As you can see, it's not a native, it's robotic,
Bochecha.
and it's just, it gives you an idea how the word is pronounced, but it's not perfect. Immediately that would put me off, okay? But it gives you an idea, and it's free, okay? So a little bit is free. They will charge you, I think it was £9, which is, starting to get into real money here. I think you get between 2,000 and 3,000 items or 3,000 words. I couldn't quite figure it out. And there's games. So you get 4 games if you pay the full thing. If you don't, you just have a quick test, which is more or less what we were doing here. Or you have the writing game as well. Now, one thing I didn't really like about this app was that a lot of the words they make you learn from the beginning are quite esoteric. They are Portuguese words, but there's stuff that you wouldn't really use on a day-to-day basis. I wouldn't put it as like the first 1,000 words you're going to learn, definitely not. But it's got some stuff going for it, as I said. Technology-wise, it syncs with everything, and you will learn a lot of stuff. It's just the pronunciation, it lets it down a little bit. All right, we're getting into our top 3. This is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. And there's a bigger gap between the previous apps and the ones that are coming up, especially right at the top. I'll get to that. Number 3, we have an app called El Lingo, Learn Portuguese. Now, there's a lot of content here, a lot of stuff, right? You pay £20, so that's real money, but you get a lot of stuff here, right? Each one of these packs, let me just show you the first one so you get an idea of how much there is. So let's go for this one. Actually, I don't know if I can show you a list of everything. Let me just go to the top one. There's a lot though. This is all based on imagery, okay, which I like. So you go through this. I have to say the design is not that intuitive.
Mulher.
The recording is native, pretty good,
Homem.
pretty clear, not heavily compressed. So you just
Rapaz.
first it's showing you everything. Okay, got it.
Rapariga.
That's nice. You don't have to press anything.
Bicicleta.
Good. And then when you're happy with that, you go through the quizzes. 3 types of quizzes.
Rapariga e rapaz.
Okay, so it gives you a girl and a boy. There you go.
Homem e rapaz.
You can sort of change the waiting time, so in your mind you can sort of preempt what's coming up, what you think might be coming up. Homem e rapaz, so a man and a boy. So you have that quiz, you have a picture quiz, which is basically the same, but a lot more choice, I think. Yeah, so a little bit harder. And then you have a translation quiz,
Rapaz e bicicleta.
which is basically just text on this one. So it's very simple. I do like it. It doesn't have a huge amount of games, but I do like it. I would have liked it to have a little bit more engagement with the student. But for what it is, there's a lot of stuff here. I like the fact that it's not just a word isolated from everything. It's phrases, simple phrases. Let me just show you another one. Let's go to transportation and let's give you a guided quiz.
Rapariga e carro.
So the same principle. You have a girl and a car. Let me just show you another one so you get a better idea.
E carrinha.
Shouldn't be speaking, man. You can see how well you're doing, which is nice. It's starting to give you a bit of an idea of how well you've done. Let me just go to the one here just to show you.
Homem numa estação de comboio.
So we're starting to introduce prepositions, a man in the station or in a train station. So that would be that one. So that's cool. I really like this way of teaching.
E bebê.
So that's El Lingo. There's not much else to say. I guess in the functions you could sort of change the audio speed, which is nice. But it's a really good app. It's a solid app for a little bit of money here, but I think it's worth it. All right, at number 2, we have an app called 6,000 Words. Learn Portuguese language for free. Here it is, 6,000 words. It's for free, even though they have a paid version, of course. Okay, there's a lot to say about this app. Let's start with the stuff that I don't like. I'm not too keen on the design, but that's me. as far as I could tell, at least on the free version, and there's a lot on the free version, there's no verbs. And I would like to see a bit more probing, sort of helping you to return to the app. They do send you a notification, but I would like to see a little bit more of that. Okay, the good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff here. You have lots and lots and lots of categories, so let's just pick one here. And not all of them are available, because obviously we're in the free version. And there's lots of games to play. So you have, for example, let's just choose a word. So it will, okay, so I guess comida, so that's a straight translation. The pronunciation is spot on, so black tea.
O chá preto.
Notice it has the article. O sumo de laranja. That's great. The article is a good addition.
O sumo de laranja.
It's a reasonable price, I think. It has... I just want to go to the end so I can show you another game. Cappuccino.
O cappuccino.
And café.
O café.
So when you get to the end...
O empregado.
Well, actually, it's empregada, but there we go. You have lots of games that you can see, which is great. Let me just show you one more.
O café.
So on this one, you could type the word in. There's some where you can actually slow down. So if I go to vocabulary here.
O chá preto.
So
o chá preto.
Which is nice. You can actually record your own voice. I don't know how useful that would be again. It is all gamified, so you get to see how many flowers you've earned, which is nice. On the side here, you can see your overall progress, but you can dig down into statistics and see how well you've done. So how well you've done today, how many words you've learned. You can see how well you're doing in different aspects of your European Portuguese learning. So reading, listening, writing, and translating. So that depends on the games that you've played, how well you've done them. It's pretty good. This, again, it comes at number 2 because out of all the apps, and again, I downloaded loads, this came in second place. So that, my friends, is 6,000 words, or fun. I mean, they call it different things in different places. But here it's fun and easy learn or something like that. Anyway, if you go to the website, you'll find the link, which is the best way of getting to the app. Just to show you what you get, as I said, it was £19. They're running a promotion at the moment. You get 6,000 words and you get rid of all the ads, which, to be honest, there aren't a lot. So yeah, that number 2. All right, before I get to the top 1, I just want to mention another app that in some ways is similar to what I've been showing you, and that is Quizlet. Now, if I just open Quizlet here on my phone, now Quizlet, the reason why it's not in the top 10, and it would be because it's an app full of features, is because it doesn't come with sets. So you have to create your own sets, or you can get other sets of cards that other people have created. And there are quite a few European Portuguese sets, such as the ones that you're seeing here. Now, this is for every podcast that we create as Portuguese with Carla podcast. If you don't listen, you should. It's free. We create a set that is a number. Let me just show you one. A number of a list of vocabulary. Okay, and we always put the articles because we know how important that is. And let me just.
A menina.
So there's Carla there. We record every single one for you because by default you put a Portuguese word and it will put a pronunciation for you automatically, but it will be in Portuguese from Brazil. The good thing about this app is that there's lots and lots of good games. So you can learn, which is just basically telling you what the word is, and you say, well, is it false? Is it the case or is it not the case? You can play the audio, I guess, if you go through the functions here. You can write, so learn to write and see what the spelling is. And in the end, if you feel confident, you can go through the test, which is cool. So it's a really useful app. And if for anything else, just use it for our podcast because you will learn a lot of vocabulary, hundreds by now, that you'll be able to get as we go along every week with every new episode. But anyway, that's Quizlet. And a really cool, interesting thing that they're doing is if you write down your words, your vocabulary words, in an actual book or notebook, they have an option where you can take a picture so let me just show you how that looks. Well, actually, I won't, it will take too long. But it's not quite accurate. You know, if you have really neat writing, you know, orthography, maybe, but with my writing, you wouldn't recognize anything. So that's Quizlet. At the top of the pile is an app that, in my opinion, is head and shoulders above anything else. And that is an app called Memrise. Let me just open Memrise for you. There's a lot of good stuff. Let me just say the bad stuff about it. I can't really think of anything that's that good. This is a bit like Quizlet. Let's start from that. You can create your own sets, but the sets that, and let me just show you where you would get them. The sets that Memrise create themselves are stupendous. So you have 6 sets that they create for European Portuguese. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 or 7, maybe 7. And you can download them all, and everything is free. Now you have a paid option. I'll talk about that in a second. But everything is free to start off, and pretty much there's no obstruction. You don't get to a place where now you have to pay. No, you pay for extra stuff. But you can complete all the courses. So let's just go through course number 1 so it knows where I am. The recording or the audio is from a native. It's the best of all, not just because it's clear, it's not compressed. Let me just show you.
Voo. É vegetariano? Vamos lá.
Not only is it a nice native voice, but also she has a bit of character, which is nice. You know, it seems to me like she's smiling while she's reading the words, which is cool. The app is completely gamified. So the whole idea is that you're going into space. So you get sort of getting ready to go into space. And everything is kind of quirky and in a nice way and playful. So, como?
Tu.
So this is complete. So just showing me the word for the first time. Como.
Como.
And you notice every time I get a word right for the first time,
Tu.
sort of the little flower starts to grow.
Estás.
And it gives you, it's interesting that it gives you the, semantic category or where the word fits. So it's telling you estás, it's telling you it's a temporary to be verb, and it's in a singular informal mode, which is great. It's sort of giving you a bit of background. Let me just change so you can see a bit more of a different course. It's nice that when it starts to teach you stuff, it sort of starts to integrate. So, for example, let me give you an example here. It's going to teach you a feeling. Sentimento.
Sentimento.
Okay, great.
Erro.
Erro.
Cometer. Erro.
All right. So you start to
Cometer.
learn the word, and then it will add.
Erro.
There you go. It starts to add that word into another one. So it starts to slowly create sentences and create expressions, which is great. It has articles on the words. You write them down. I'm not going to show you everything because it would take forever. As I said, it's gamified, so you will see where you are in your progress, I guess. The app will alert you to come back. In fact, let me just show you a notification I got from it. Starship Enterprise calling, reported training, and it sort of takes you to where you were and starts again. The app will send you emails to sort of prompt you to go back, and everything's just fun. The design and the app is fluid, really nice. You should try it. The Pro version. So let me just see if I can get. There we go. Pro. So the Pro is normally about £45, although they're running a promotion here. And with the promo stuff, you get, for example, instead of just the sound of somebody saying a word, you will get a video. And in the free version, they will show you some of these videos, but not a lot. That's great. Just adding another sensor so you can learn quicker. it will help you with difficult words, and perhaps you will add a bit more other games. So to be honest, even if they gave you nothing for those £22, I would just buy them if you're learning Portuguese, because they're doing such a great job. You should just give them the money. This is by far, as I said, the best app that I could find for learning Portuguese, and no doubt other languages, because they do many other languages. So that's Memrise from a company called Memrise. So that's it. That's the top 10. If you enjoyed watching the video, then subscribe to our channel. We do lots of free content. And of course, subscribe to our podcast that comes out every week. There's PT with Carla or Portuguese with Carla anywhere on the web. Just Google it, or if you want to go directly to the site, ptwithcarla.com. All right, guys. See you later.
Are you in my picture? You're in my picture. Back off. All right. Okay.